I got mixed up with the wrong crowd during high school. Coming from an already troubled household made me more inclined towards harmful things. I didn't hesitate to ride a bike at full speed after getting hella drunk or following shady strangers to try new kinds of drugs. Yes, I was reckless, and I probably still would have been if that dreadful experience never happened. My dad used to beat my mom almost every night after getting drunk. She hit him too with whatever she could grab, and it was a ruckus around house 24/7. I started spending nights chilling out with whoever bought me booze. Sometimes I even woke up on a sticky, dirty floor next to a pile of blood-stained syringes. I was so high that I could not even remember how I got there in the first place. Somehow, I would pick my miserable self up while cleaning the vomit off my clothes and walk out of the house pushing aside junkies lying all over the dingy house. I was in such a state that I kept saying to myself, what worse can happen at this point? But only if I knew that the nightmare was about to come. Unlike every other night, I stormed out of the house as my parents fought like animals. My mom screamed, saying, "Are you going to your druggy friends?" I turned around and replied, "I don't have any friends. You all disgust me." Honestly, I don't care if anyone finds me guilty for behaving this way, but it was indeed the truth. I lit a cigarette as my cravings started to kick in. I called a guy named Kramer who often hooked me up with pot and ecstasy, but he didn't pick up my call. Running out of options, I started to walk towards Skid Row. Everyone familiar with downtown LA knows it's last resort for homeless people and druggies. As I walked through the alley of shadow and dirt, the burnt smell of toxic chemicals started to jam up my nostrils. People lying in the muddy, dirty corners, being high as a kite, and saying gibberish in that state of trance was a common thing for me. I saw two guys smoking something standing near a dumpster. As I got close to them, they offered me a drag without saying anything, and I took a puff without giving it a second thought. As soon as the smoke entered my mouth, I felt I just smoked years of preserved tar mixed with the stench of rotten eggs. My head started to bang heavily, and my vision became blurry. The scary part of the high is I wasn't passing out and yet felt like falling. I walked ahead while those two freaks laughed at me seeing my condition. I somehow sat down near a pile of garbage bags and thought about sleeping for the night there when a squeaky voice spoke to me.
"Up for some adrenaline rush?"
"What? Who are you?"
"We can be friends if you want."
"Look, man, I don't want any more trouble for tonight. Just, please, leave me be."
"I see. Guess I will find someone for the party."
"Wait, there's a party? Where?"
"In that garage under the basement. I have buddies there. Wanna come?"
I thought it would be better to take shelter under a roof than pass out on these dangerous streets, so I got up somehow and agreed to follow the man. He seemed like he's in his late 40s. There were scratches all over his face, but he has excessively bright eyes that could look into your soul. He walked like a shadow. No matter how fast he walked or whatever came under his feet, no sound ever took place. We came near a turn, and the man stopped. He gazed around suspiciously and said,
"This way."
The turn led to a narrow lane. After walking 2 to 3 minutes more, we reached in front of a rusty metal door. He knocked on the door thrice, and a pair of eyes peeked from a small square-shaped hole on the door. The man from the other side of the door asked, "Who is it?" To which he replied, "ENDERMAN." The door opened immediately, and we entered into a small corridor. At the end of the corridor stood another big door. Behind that door, I could see neon lights flicker. The sound of subdued loud music also echoed in that corridor. The man who opened the door was a bald guy who was probably a drug dealer or someone of that sort. He handed over a small pouch of white pills to this man, and we two walked to that room at the end of the corridor. As I stepped in, I saw 7 to 8 men sitting in front of computers playing video games. A neon light sign reading Minecraft was attached to the front wall. Noticing their screens, I realized they're all playing Minecraft at various stages. The way they played seemed very freaky to me. Their eyes were wide and filled with dark circles, as if they are playing for a long time without taking a break. The man gave me a disturbing grin and said,
"Welcome to my den. You can call me ENDERMAN. These are all my players."
"Your players?"
"Yes. Come on in. Grab a seat."
He pointed out to a beanbag kept near the door, and I sat down. I am familiar with this game. One of my friends was crazy behind it. I didn't quite enjoy this game because of its endless exploration. I mean, yes, you get to win trophies, but this game never ends, which kind of creeps me out. I thought maybe they're having a competition or bet to win a real prize because they were so dedicated to the game that none of them took their eyes off the screen for 1 second. It was like they must keep playing, no matter what. My curiosity kicked in, and I asked, "What are they playing for?" The man laughed in a creepy way, saying,
They're live.
"What? What do you mean by that?"
They might be in different levels, but they all have to follow one rule. If you die in Minecraft, you die in real life, too.
Before I could get a hold of everything this man was saying, one of the players started to slap himself vigorously. Oh my God, why is he doing that?
He's just trying to be awake, so he doesn't die in the game.
The more I watched these players, the more I realized what a psycho this man is. But what he did next gave me chills. One guy started to scream, saying, "No, no, no!" And then, for the first time, turned at us. His eyes were bloodshot, as if he hadn't slept for days. He fumbled in a painful voice. "Please, Enderman, I can start again. Please, I'm doing this for the last 3 days. Please, let me go." The psycho walked close to him and said,
There's only one rule here. If you die in the game, you die in real life.
He took out a gun and bashed the poor man's brains out. Blood splattered everywhere. Drops of blood fell on the other player sitting next to the poor man, but he didn't even show emotions. It was as if he can't spare a single second to act on whatever craziness going on around here. None of them said a single word, moved a single muscle to react to this ruthless murder happening in front of their eyes. They kept playing like before. "Are you all insane?" I screamed and bolted out of that room. I ran at full speed through that dingy corridor. That bald guy came to stop me, but I was quick. I pushed him and sprung out, sliding that metal door with all my strength. I don't know how I carried myself home that night, but the next morning, I went there again to look for those people. But the metal door was sealed with a huge lock and chains. It was closed from the outside, and I realized they are gone. Whoever that man was, he was batshit crazy, no doubt. I don't know if he's still out there playing the character of Enderman while putting his players in a terrible fate.